Hi, this is Business with Dave. In this video, I'll be telling you why now is the best time to start a business. With so much going on with COVID and the pandemic going along, why is it the most important time to start a business now? I'll be telling you in this video. But before I jump into the video, I would like to thank everyone who has subscribed to the channel. You guys are all awesome. I appreciate everyone who has subscribed, and hopefully these videos is useful and value to you, and hopefully you continue supporting the channel. But yeah, do subscribe to the channel at the end of this video, and let's jump straight into it. So my first point is out with the old and in with the creative, because honestly life won't be the same like it was pre-pandemic. And the thing you have to understand is being creative now and being sort of forward thinking and seeing what potentially people will want in the future. This is why if you start now, you start early, you start researching now, you're doing all your hours and hopefully honing your craft now, that hopefully we come out of the pandemic, your business will be ready more or less to utilize and hopefully meet a growing need of different types of needs going on with so much going on. Now is the best time. Now is the best time to start. Now is the best time to do all your background work and making sure you are prepared for it, because literally once we come out of the pandemic, it's probably too late to start a business. Yes, you can start a business then, but if you can start it nice and early on, be prepared, learn about what you need to learn, then at least you can prepare for when everyone needs your product, when everybody has a certain demand and you are there to provide it. And I think that's where it is all about, because all of the old businesses literally now are trying to survive. They're adapting, they're trying to improve and making sure that they can get out of it. But if you could start a business that is already going to meet potential needs for the future, then you're literally starting a future business that not many people know they need now, and hopefully when the time is to come, they will need you then. And I think that's the best opportunity to take, and now you should start. And the thing to know is, if you could do something a bit more different, if there's a niche within a niche that you could explore, so many different ideas out there, and you just need to adapt it a little bit, improve it a little bit, create a USP for it, and hopefully people can latch onto it and hopefully be like, yes, that's the thing I need. And when the time comes, they know where to find you, because you start a business, you start just getting the word out, friends and families and colleagues are talking about your business already, then that they know if they need something, you supply it. That's where you'll get customers. That's where you get repeat customers. That's where people that don't know you before will know you now, and hopefully you can take forward with that. So my second point is that new demands require new business models and concepts. Yes, like the previous point, everything is changing. Everyone is adapting to continuous ongoing circumstances, and businesses have been adapting. So many new businesses have started, in terms of food, ghost kitchen, dark kitchens, focusing on deliveries only and not having a shop front by itself. These businesses have adapted. These businesses are sort of meeting demands of growing needs for people to get food delivered to them. Literally, if you could think that sort of way as well, looking forward for the next 2, 3, 4 years, that it won't often change as much, that's where your business will model and different concepts will come in. And you just need to think, what are other people doing? What are the people doing in different countries? How are they dealing with COVID? How are they dealing with the pandemic? How are they thriving? Because with opportunities like dire situations, there will be someone utilizing that. There will be someone maximizing sales on certain products and stuff like that. How can you start a business or a business model that will cater to the future customers? Maybe not now, but maybe in the next 6 months to a year's time. And that's where you need to think. That's where you need to do your research. And there's so many research online. There's so much stuff that maybe in the past textbooks won't be relevant now, because now is ever changing. But it's your turn to be creative. It's your turn to be maybe a little bit different. Don't be afraid to be different, because honestly, everyone is going to be changing, and situations are changing every single day nowadays. And it will probably be the same for the next 3, 6, and 12 months in the future. So if you could cater to those needs, and cater to that demand, then maybe your business will be in a better position in a year's time than it is now. But at least if you start now, then you'll have a heads up to learn what you need to learn, and you could be in a peak business sales in the future. And so many opportunities are out there. If you could just think about eco-friendly packaging, sustainable transportation, healthcare, so many different areas where if you could just pick an area that is not underutilized, not people paying attention to it, and you could focus your attention on making it more efficient, more affordable, more convenient as well, and accessible, then perhaps you could have a business there. But there's so many things that demands are changing, like in terms of fitness as well, well-beingness, just finding happiness in everything that you want to do, and business-wise as well. So many different areas you can get into. Just do your research, and hopefully you can find a small niche and a small demand that you can cater to that will hopefully meet the needs for the future as well. So my third point is that you're testing the market because you're a small business. Because you're just starting off, because now is the present and maybe it's by yourself and you're just starting a business on your own, being small allows you to be flexible, allows you to be agile, allows you to be adaptable. Look at other people and see what other businesses are doing, see what they're not tapping into, who they're not catering, and if you could tap into that little niche, that little demand, then you're already carving out a small little business for yourself, and hopefully catering to a certain geographic or a certain customer base as well, that hopefully they could latch on to what your business is all about, and hopefully you can build upon that for the next 3 months, 6 months, and to a year's time. But because you're small, you can do that. Because you're flexible, you can do that. Because you have the time to do your research and product development, and no one is rushing you, no one is forcing you to do a deadline. You set yourself a deadline and you meet that when you need to meet that, and you give yourself the goal to motivate yourself. But it's just that testing the market is so important, because then at least you know there is demand for your product, and maybe you could expand to having one original product and expanding the range. So hopefully come 6 months, 12 months time, there could be an influx of what you're making has a demand for, and then you can provide that. But testing out suppliers, testing out materials, getting in imported stuff and seeing how it is perfect, because then you're learning so much as you go along. You're improving as you go along. You're adapting as you go along. And that slow progression, that organic growth will be more beneficial if you just started just now and then you get a massive growth, and then in order to keep that high growth, you might be spending a bit too much in order to meet that growth. And then if there's a forward demand and then all your sales gets messed up, if you can have that slow progression, then at least your business has a chance to learn as you go along, and you can improve instead of shooting too high, and then you'll be maybe bankrupt the next 6 months because you spent too much money and you have no money at the end of the day. So that slow progression is what I suggest and advise, and how I've always started my business. Lots of research, slow progression, you learn your way through, and hopefully you can enjoy the peak as it hits the peak. So my next point, and particularly if it's in the now that you need to start your business, now is the best time, is to spot that gap in the market, is to spot that need that potentially people are not getting from the mainstream shops, the mainstream brands, the mainstream businesses. Maybe you see something on Instagram that is like a big brand, but they're not tapping into maybe a certain need that maybe you are requiring as well, or maybe your group of people that need something that is not being met, and maybe you can provide that. It could just be a niche within a niche that is just not tapped. And I think that's where, if you can spot the gap, if you can provide that need, if you know that there's a certain small demand that hopefully it can literally grow into more demand, it just needs that small sort of customer base first in order to meet before you can grow. That is what you just probably need all along. You just need to spot that gap, see what people need, and then you can test out the product, test out the market, and see if there's potential growth in that business. And literally, this is the time to start, because there's so many needs going on, so many things are changing, and businesses are changing for the best. slash for the worst as well. So if you can just take all the good stuff, change it up, maybe improve it just a little bit, that people can differentiate you from someone else, and people will buy from you 110%. Because they know that if you can offer better service than your main competitors, then they would maybe pay you more for better service than if they got worse service for slightly cheaper price. So it really depends on the consumer, but there will be something for everybody if you can find the right market and the right customers as well. And my fifth and final point is that you have nothing to lose. Literally, if you have a full-time job and you want an extra income coming in, start a business now. If you have an idea, why not give it a try? If you're a young person and you can't find a job, why not create that job for yourself? Literally, you'll be learning so much more than if you was working from someone else. Yes, you can get valuable industry experiences for working in a particular job, but if you can't find that job, why not create it yourself? You'll be learning about finance, marketing, operations, finance, yeah, all that jazz as well. And why not give it a try? If you have an eye for something and you do want to try it out and you have so much time on your hands, literally put yourself out there, start up an Instagram business, start up a small business store or something, create something out of what you can and see if people buy it, and hopefully you can learn so much from it. But literally, starting a business now won't mean that if it fails, it's the end of the world. It just means that, yes, it didn't work, maybe I'll do something better and I will just not make the mistakes before, but it's about that mistakes that you made like early on that will hopefully shape your future as well, because you learn so much more from your mistakes than if you were successful all the time, because you don't often learn why you're successful. But if you learn from the mistakes, then you know how not to make those mistakes and how the outcomes of it will sort of badly affect your business in that sense. But if you learn from it, you can grow yourself and your business along the way, and that's the best way for you to grow as a person as well. So thanks for watching this video, guys. Hopefully you found this video and I've convinced you to understand why now it is the best time to start a business, and why there are so many opportunities out there that if you can tap into one small little niche, you can turn that into a successful business. And hopefully you can put in the comments below what it is, so then I can follow you as well. Like this video if you like this video, consider subscribing to the channel. If you want to support the channel, you could buy me a coffee, which would be awesome. I've been Business with Dave. I'll see you next video. Take care.